a life update in like a hot minute. And I was like, let's do like a fun little vloggy video, just hanging out. And I'll talk to you guys about what's going on in my life. P.S. Do you see my cute little tree back there? It's a Halloween tree. I got it from Marshall's. That's its home now. And spooky iced coffee time too. I don't want this to be long. I just want to kind of chat about a few things, right? Like, people have wanted me to do kind of an update on weight loss and where I'm at with that and where I'm planning on going with that. So as of last year, I lost quite a bit of weight, right? And I decided to finally take a break around November of last year, so November 2022. My mom was obviously murdered in the beginning of the year. I was traumatized, and really the only thing that I kept myself together with was utilizing exercise, right? And so November rolled around. I was like, you know what, we're hitting the holidays. I think for the first time, I'm just gonna give my body a little bit of a rest. So I rested from November, December, basically for the holidays. And then January hit and I got COVID. So I was almost at 300 pounds, and then I dropped to 140. That was where I was at. And then COVID hit, the holidays, obviously. I ended up getting a puppy in January. It was actually a foster fail. Lilo Multipass. Come here. This is Lilo. She's a full-bred corgi. She's a crazy person. I've never had a corgi before. I don't know if I'll ever have another one. I'm a Chihuahua person, as you can see. But she was a foster fail. Hi. She's crazy. She loves me. She's a purebred corgi. So I work with the Nevada SPCA. I love to volunteer like my time and help them and work with them. And I got a call that they had a purebred corgi in, and they had all of her paperwork. The people that she was with before surrendered her, and she was like a $10,000 dog because she's a purebred. She's crazy, guys. Look, she's just like so she's about 1.5, 2. Corgis are big. Do you guys know how big corgis are? Like, she's not petite, okay? So anyway, when I first got her, basically the goal was to rehabilitate her, to get her with the family. And she ended up bonding with my dogs and me. But when I first got her, I think she'd been very, very abused. And they had kept her in what I would assume to be a kennel 24/7. She didn't understand life outside the kennel. She also had, she was extremely insecure. So if I'd leave a room, she'd have to follow me. And what ended up happening in January, I was walking down the stairs and she tripped me, and I ended up falling down the stairs 3 separate times that she tripped me, and it was because of her separation anxiety. She just, like, if I'd go to walk, she would step in front of me. And so, yes, I'm young, thank God. If I was older, I'd be in trouble. I fell down the stairs 3 times in January, 3 separate times. And I've had previous leg surgeries. If you've been following me on social media, a couple of years ago, I got diagnosed with something called DVT, which is called deep vein thrombosis. I thought I was too young to have like a vein issue or a circulation issue, but it's 100% based off of hereditary. So my grandma had it, my mom had it, I had it. There is ways now that you can prevent vein and circulation issues so that you essentially prevent yourself from having like a heart attack down the road. So a couple of years ago, I started the process of trying to eliminate my circulation issues. I was always told that because I was a cosmetologist, makeup artist, stylist, that since I was on my feet 8 or 10 hours a day, that's what caused varicose veins. So I kind of just like accepted it and moved on. But as I got older, I started having just circulation issues, pain in my legs. I was having a really hard time wearing my platform shoes. And I ended up going to a vein doctor and found out I had DVT. And it's not because I'm a cosmetologist. It's not because I was on my feet 10 hours a day. It's because it's a hereditary issue. And so there are ways to prevent it. If you guys want a video on that, I'll do it, but it needs to be like a separate thing. But the point of this little spiel is that when Lilo, I named her after the fifth element, Lilo Multipass, when she knocked me down the stairs in January, it ended up causing some vein issues. She damaged some of my veins from falling, and because I'd had surgery on my legs. It's like an outpatient surgery. So basically January, so I'd taken a break from exercising November, December. January, I got COVID for like 8 weeks. It was horrible till about mid-February. On top of that, she had knocked me down the stairs 3 times. And by the time I was like, and it takes a while to recover from COVID, so I couldn't really just start working out again just because I was better. So it was about March, like maybe the first or second week of March, I thought, okay, I've taken like way more time off than I thought, which was like November, December, January. I took 3 months off from exercise, was not planning on taking that much time off. Started trying to exercise in March and realized that something was wrong with my legs again. And I was like, oh my God, like I was supposed to be done, you know, with the patient surgeries, because I've had probably 16 outpatient surgeries. And it basically helps your circulation in your legs. It removes the varicose veins and the spider veins, and you're able to like exercise and wear shoes. And also I'm preventing myself in the future from having like a heart attack or a stroke, right? So I went to my vein doctor in March. I called him and I said, I think something's wrong. And I don't know what it is. And he was like, well, you know, I was at the point with my procedures where I only needed to go in once a year for like a checkup. And my doctor was like, okay, well, like come in, we'll do an ultrasound just to see how it's going. And luckily I have a really amazing vein doctor, Dr. Carrillo. And he was like, we'll do an ultrasound. So I went in, I did an ultrasound on my legs, and he was like, oh no, what happened? He was like, what happened? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, it looks like it could be like some sort of an impact wound or something. Like this shouldn't have, like we should have been fine by now, but like something happened. I said, oh my God, my dog knocked me down the stairs 3 times. And she's a corgi. They are chonky. She is like, and I'm not, when I say chonky, I don't mean fat. She's like a tank. Like I understand now that they use corgis for like herding and stuff. Like I've seen, she's kind of a ding dong a little bit. Like she could run into a wall and it will not affect her. Like she's a little bit of a dingbat, you know what I mean? But when she knocked me down the stairs, she was fine. She was like, fine. And I'm like dying. And my doctor was like, yeah, I think that it's probably from falling down the stairs. And he goes, we have to do another surgery on you on both legs. And I was like, oh my God. Well, the problem is when you schedule these procedures or surgeries, you know, it's a typical doctor. It's going to take 4 to 8 weeks to get in. So he was like, I can't get you in for the procedure till like the end of May. So I said, what should I do about exercise? And he's like, well, how are you feeling? And I was like, I get really tired. My legs hurt. Like I'm in pain. And he's like, I mean, you can do yoga or light stretching, but he was like, as far as I love like weightlifting and like high impact cardio. And he was like, you need to be careful. He's like, I don't think you should do that right now. So I said, okay. So basically I've been on this like exercise hiatus now from like November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So like now it's been 7 months. This is crazy. And I'm kind of frustrated. So at this point I have now gained about 20 pounds. Honestly, I feel like that's normal if you're not I wasn't like eating bad. I just wasn't exercising really. So I was really worried. So I've really been like keeping myself in check to make sure that I don't gain anymore, because like I don't want to go backwards, you know what I mean? So I was originally at 140, now I'm back at about 160. I pretty much stayed at 160. So then the surgery hits, which is like the end of May. And you know, it's crazy with these procedures because it is outpatient. So I only go in for like 1 to 3 hours to the surgery room, depending on like how major it is. But sometimes until he gets in there to see what's going on, we don't know how bad it is. So we went, I did the surgery and went in. We thought that my like easy leg, like the worst leg was the left leg from the falling down the stairs. And then the like not so bad leg was supposed to be the right leg, okay? So we get into the surgery room. He does the left leg first because it's supposed to be the bad leg, right? So he goes in, does his thing, and it went quick. The left leg was fast. But then he goes into the right leg, which was supposed to be like the easy leg, or not the one that wasn't so damaged. And he was like, uh-oh, you have a lot of like damaged veins from the fall. And he was like, this is gonna be a big procedure. So the right leg I ended up being there for like 2 or 2.5 hours. And remember, this leg was supposed to be the easy leg, and it turned into like the worst leg. So basically he was like, okay, I don't know how recovery is gonna be. Basically they send you home. There's really no stitches or anything. You do have to wear like compression socks. Once again, if you want a full video on this, I'll do it, but it needs to be separate. I'm just talking about like the surface of what happened. So he sent me home with compression socks. You have to wear compression socks for 2 weeks. Remember, this procedure, or this problem that I have, does not discriminate on age, right? Like, this has nothing to do with my age. Because I was like, oh my God, I'm too young for this. No, it doesn't matter. You're like, it's hereditary. So I go home for 2 weeks, and you have to wear the socks for 3 days straight. They're very tight, restricting. I hate compression socks, but it's because of the procedure. And then you can shower. So you can't shower for 3 days after surgery. And normally, I'm already feeling better after that first 3 days. And then you have to wear the compression socks basically the whole time you're awake. Only when you're not asleep can you have a break for 2 weeks. And I was in so much pain. So this was like the beginning of June. I was in so much pain every day. It was like the worst. It's not him. It wasn't the surgery itself. It was the healing of this right leg was so complicated. So I got really worried. Normally I only have like a follow-up a month after surgery. And once again, I haven't had one of these surgeries done for like 1.5 years because I was supposed to be done, right? The only reason I had this surgery was it was considered like an impact wound from falling down the stairs 3 times. So I go back into the doctor and I said, hey, I normally don't come in for this checkup, but like, I think something's wrong with this right leg. So this is like mid-June of this year. And he ultrasounds it. He's like, no, it looks good. He's like, but it was a complicated surgery, and it's just probably going to take a long time to heal. And I was frustrated because normally he'll clear me to start working out at the most 2 weeks after surgery. And I had tried to do some light cardio. You're not really supposed to do a lot of squats because you don't want to put pressure on your legs. But I tried, and I was really frustrated because I'm like, oh my God, like I just want to work out and get this last little bit of weight off for this, thing. So he was like, you're going to have to be patient with yourself. He was like, I want you to come back and see me. So I went back and saw him again. This was like the beginning of July. He was like, it's healing fine, but I was still in pain. I was just sore. I couldn't work out. It was just taking forever. So he was like, you have to be patient. I have another follow-up coming up with him. But I finally started feeling better after surgery like last week, like literally the last like 4 or 5 days. Long story short of this is I am finally ready to start losing this final little bit of weight. I really want to get to my goal weight of like 120, 125 is my goal. And then once I'm done, I'm finally done losing this weight because it's just been an ongoing battle to try to just get past this. I'm really back on a vegetarian diet again, and I do a lot of protein shakes. I love protein shakes. I love Greek yogurt with granola and strawberries. Ghost hunting is ultimately where it's at. It's weird because I've had some YouTubers that I used to be friends with. I just haven't been involved in like the paranormal scene for so long. I've had some YouTuber friends with way high numbers, like I'm talking hundreds of thousands of subscribers that do paranormal channels only, and they said they are still being shadow banned, which is just so crazy to me. So part of me gets really scared to want to dive into paranormal again with YouTube because it looks like they're still being shadow banned. A lot of my friends have said like doing a podcast for paranormal is the best route. So I might get into more like paranormal topics on the podcast versus actually filming. I don't know what to do. I'm between like a rock and a hard place. I miss filming so bad. I still wish ultimately that I could get Ghost Girl Diaries signed as a series. Sorry, I just kicked my camera. I still wish I could get it signed, because I don't have the funds for expensive cameras and to travel. I mean, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then if I have a crew, like I have to pay the crew money, I have to pay the camera techs money. So realistically, I really want to put out in the universe to manifest getting Ghost Girl Diaries signed as a series. Until then, I am totally fine with going to haunted locations nearby, you know, or whatever, to get some little things, you know, shot for you guys, like for social media, for TikTok, for YouTube. I'm not sure what you guys want to see, but I'm scared to film for YouTube again for paranormal, because it sounds like it never really got better. Sounds like it's still being shadow banned, and it just sucks. So I don't really know what to do about that yet. So we'll see. We'll see where we're going from there. Really in this new era of self. Also, like, I feel like I'm in that final stage of the Phoenix rising. You know, I've been through a lot of changes. I've explained it as like my old self is dying and my new self has been sort of rebirthed. And I'm in the final stage. And the final stage is, yes, losing that last little bit of weight, but also I want to stay really focused. So for like the next 3 to 6 months, I'm planning on not really like socializing much. I'm just going to keep my head down, focus, get work down, build my numbers on social media, not only TikTok, but also YouTube, and just work. And I would encourage you guys to do the same thing. It's interesting because I've noticed in the past, when I focus on myself and self-love, and that includes money, working, social media, even weight loss, eating healthy, when I have all of that in rhythm and I'm really creating my own vibration, that is when the biggest opportunities come in at me from the universe. And so I'm just gonna stay really, really focused and to myself, almost like tunnel vision, because I think I'm in the like very last part of my Phoenix rising moment, and not pay attention to anybody else or anything around me. There was something else I wanted to say to you guys too. I can't remember because I had a question from somebody. Oh, some people asked me about my content and like how I did content creation. I can make a like video or podcast for you guys if you want to hear about content creation and like brand deals and all that stuff. But the biggest piece of advice I can give you is this: I've been burned by some content creators. I've been burned by particularly people in the goth genre who are bigger than me, have bigger numbers, like bigger following, and they think, or I think that they're my friend, and then we'll like have a chat on the phone or whatever, and they ended up stealing my ideas. I've even had personal friends do this, like extremely close friends, that I would give ideas about like Salem or like the Church of Satan, like ideas about shooting content, and they turn around the next day and they go to Salem and they do it because I gave them the idea. So here's my biggest thing I can give you. Keep your mouth shut if you're doing content creation. It's okay to make friends, but understand that like if you have good ideas like I do, and like I'm very motivated and a free thinker, and I like to come up with ideas no one else has, people will steal your ideas so fast, even close friends. So I have really learned at this point in the career of doing content creation, influencer, even though I'm pretty snobby when it comes to things that I work with and people that I work with, keep your mouth shut. Don't tell everybody what your next move is, because I've had people literally pull out the rug from underneath me. This includes friends and bigger content creators. And I know that sucks because like I wouldn't care if it was a fan or somebody, like I feel like you get to a point with your following, which I'm not there yet, where people are gonna idolize you and they're gonna look up to you. But when you have like an actual friend or someone you call a friend, or especially a bigger content creator, and they're stealing your ideas and stealing your content, man, that it's like a stab to the heart, especially when it's a close friend. I had somebody that took all my ideas regarding Salem and the Church of Satan, and I'm still friends with this person, and they went out the very next day after we'd had this conversation one day about what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. They turned around and went without me. That really cut me deep. That hurt. So I have I've just learned to keep my mouth shut. I don't share my ideas with anyone unless you want to pay me, you know what I mean? And stay to yourself. I know that sounds crazy, but just like learn to stay to yourself, work on your own bag, and that's when opportunities will just start sort of like flowing into you. Excuse the way I look, because I just woke up from like a literal nap. So the first part of that video was filmed about a week ago, and I decided to wait and post it because today, which is July 28th, I had my last doctor's appointment follow-up for my surgery, and I was gonna find out today if I was done with the procedures or if I was gonna need another surgery, because it's been a long haul. It's been a lot. And this last outpatient surgery I had in June was really hard on me. Like, it was a rough heal. And then I was really frustrated. I told you guys I couldn't work out. And I was just, I'm frustrated because I want to get back on my routine. I've been off of a routine since literally November. So I found out today, good news, surgeries are done. Surgeries are done. And I literally left my doctor's office, cried, went grocery shopping, came home and fell asleep. And I was like, you know what? It's time to post that video. So I'm just in a really good mood right now. And I can move forward. So now it's time for the final transformation to lose the rest of this little bit of weight that I've been hanging on to. My final Phoenix moment is about to come. And yeah, I'm excited. Okay, catch you guys on the next one.